Here, by popular demand, after being asked for it for 2 years, finally, it's my For the Money gaming laptop picks. If you haven't been in the gaming laptop market for a while, a lot has changed. Going back to 2010 and comparing the i5 520UM to a Broadwell i5 5300U, the Broadwell i5 5300U has up to 12 times better graphics and up to 2 times longer battery life. Now, as you can see in this chart, Intel also says that you get up to 2.5 times better office productivity and 9 times faster wake up. So when we were talking about seconds, you know, something that took you 9 seconds before, let's say, to wake up, now it only takes a second. So huge changes in the laptop market, and I'll give you my recommendations coming up. Looking at Broadwell versus Haswell, we can see you get up to 22% better integrated graphics performance and up to 4% better productivity. Now, an important thing to know about Broadwell, most gaming laptop manufacturers completely skipped it over. That doesn't mean on your general standard laptops you can't go get a Broadwell processor, but you know, if you're looking at that Asus ROG or Alienware laptop, then most likely you're not going to be able to get it in a Broadwell option. And the reason this has happened is because the performance simply wasn't worth the cost of implementing this. Instead, since you're just going to be using a dedicated graphics card anyway, most manufacturers stuck with Haswell. That being said, getting a Broadwell laptop is very important if you're just going to use integrated graphics. And more gamers each day are using integrated graphics to play the likes of Dota 2, League of Legends, Hearthstone, Diablo 3, World of Warcraft. All of these types of games, and even some more graphically intense games, can now be played on the Intel HD 5500 graphics that comes standard in everything above an i3 processor for Broadwell. Let's jump right into my picks for gaming laptops in the middle of 2015. In the under $500 category, I really think you ought to look for something refurbished or used. Laptops are really like cars. Once you drive them off the lot, they lose a lot of value. Laptops lose a lot of value that way too. And if you're willing to go with something refurbished or used, you can save a lot more money and get a lot of performance. If you're looking under $500 for something new, it's difficult to find something that has an i5, has a 1080p screen, and has more than 4 gigabytes of RAM. But if you're willing to step it up to $550, you can get Lenovo's G50-80. It's model 80E501J1US, which has the best of both worlds. It has an i5, a 1080p screen, and 8 gigabytes of RAM. An AMD option with an APU would be HP's 15-P030NR. Now, I was able to find this refurbished for about $440 to $450, and new at the $550 price category. You get an AMD A8 5545M quad-core processor along with HD 8510G graphics and all of that integrated Beats audio. It's a pretty good deal if you're willing to go with a laptop like this, and definitely worth considering if you're trying to stay under $500. Around that $600 mark, you can go to Newegg. There's a laptop on there, the Asus X555LB-NS51. It gives you a dedicated GT940M, 8 gigabytes of RAM, a 1080p resolution, and a Broadwell i5 5200U. Considering that I feel that Asus has superior quality when it comes to laptops, that's a pretty darn good deal. All right, now I'm going to bring up my $1,000 picks, and I just want to bring up a chart I made for the website, the blog post for this, which shows these 4 laptops. Probably the most popular gaming laptop in that $1,000 range is the Asus ROG GL551JW-DS71. Now, there's another similar model to it called the DS74, and the main difference between that and the $200 more expensive DS74 is that the DS74 has an IPS screen and a solid state drive. For some of you, that's going to be well worth the price, or if you'd rather stay in that $1,000 range, the DS71 still makes a lot of sense. One thing I'm really encouraged in the $1,000 price range about is that if you spend $1,000, you can get an Alienware gaming laptop that actually has decent specifications. I'm not sure whether Alienware changed their chassis a little bit. I know they did that, but whether that brought the price down or whether they just wanted to be more competitive. But in that $1,000 price range, you can get the Alienware 15 A&W 15-1421 SLV that has an i5 and a GTX 965M for just around $1,080. Another laptop that's kind of a newer laptop that you might want to check out is the Acer Aspire V15 Nitro, which also has similar specifications and an IPS screen. In the $1,500 category, we'll start with a laptop that just costs $1,400. It's Alienware's ANW 17-2136 SLV. You get an i7 4710HQ and the new GTX 70M, solid graphics card option there, and you get an IPS screen with Alienware, with all of Alienware's laptops. So really a pretty good deal there for $1,400. Again, it's surprising and good that Alienware is trying to come back to earth in terms of its pricing, because now you have a pretty good option. You're thinking, hey, do I want an Asus ROG laptop, or do I want an Alienware one for the same price? And you know, some people that probably left Alienware a few years ago might find it enticing to go back to it if they're back to a reasonable price level. The Alienware 17 model, a step up from that, has a solid state drive and costs around $2,000. If you want to jump up to a GTX 980M, really you're in that $2,000 range, and you can either get that Alienware 17 6421 SLV model, or you can think about going to the Asus ROG DH71 that has a GTX 980M and a few other pretty cool options for about $2,500. That one includes a 256 gigabyte solid state drive and 24 gigs of RAM. The last model I want to mention is about $2,400, $2,500. It's a Razer Blade 14-inch. You can get it in 256 gigabyte or 512 gigabyte solid state drive. It comes with the GTX 970M and costs around $2,500. Now, that might sound like a lot, but you're paying for form factor here. It's 0.7 inches thin, and it weighs about half of what all these other laptops do. So if you're on the road a lot and you don't want something too cumbersome, then having that extra space, having something that's lightweight, might be the difference between you being able to take the laptop with you on a plane or not. For me personally, I'd rather go with something more hardware centered, but this is definitely an interesting option for those of you who travel or just want something that's super portable. All right, that's the end of the video, guys. No more here to say about gaming laptops, but I'd love to know what you think. Let me know in the comment section below, or go to our forum, forum.top10gamer.com, where you can ask me a direct question. You can also join our community at facebook.com/top10gamer. Now, we're trying to get this community to grow so that we can get more cool products in front of you and have kind of the unique perspective that we have for products like this. If you are interested in helping this channel grow, then you can do one of three things. You can comment, you can like, and you subscribe. All of these things allow the video to get more exposure, which helps me let the channel grow and allows the channel to simply do more things. Hopefully that is your goal. It's definitely mine. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Valeu.